Clark Athletic Center on the campus of UMass Boston for this Little East Conference volleyball match tonight. It's the UMass Boston Beacons and the University of Southern Maine Huskies. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Drew. This should be a lot of fun tonight. A very important late-season match. Both sides come in with 2 conference losses. They can ill afford a third. UMass Dartmouth is right on their tails for the last 2 postseason spots in the upcoming Little East tournament. The Beacons, they've lost 2 in a row, but the last match they won, arguably their biggest of the season. It was right here a week ago against a good Plymouth State team. Meanwhile, Southern Maine, they're hot. They've won 5 straight. The last match they lost against that same Plymouth State team back on October the 2nd. A lot on the line here tonight. We'll be back to preview the rest of the match in just a moment here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins, not the shiny nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
We welcome you back. It is all-time meeting number 30 between these 2 schools here tonight. UMass Boston has a 17-12 advantage in the series. They haven't lost here at home since October the 7th of 2003. UMass Boston, as a matter of fact, has won 13 of the last 14 meetings here. The only one they lost was in 5 sets, 3-2 in Southern Maine, October the 24th of 2017. Last time they met a year ago, September the 25th, it was a 3-0 sweep for the Beacons. A key storyline, as you see on the graphic there, Amelia Chepievska for the Beacons. You see what she's done against this Southern Maine squad. She's killed them, literally 11 of them, with a .286 hitting percentage as well. She is out tonight. She was supposed to be one of the go-to hitters for UMass Boston coming in, but she missed the first 2 matches with a groin, then a bad ankle sprain suffered on the 21st against Riviere. She missed 10 straight matches, cleared to practice, but not yet to play. She is out here tonight. Therefore, in our players to watch tonight, we will show you one of the main sources of replacement that Kate Carlson has used for Chepievska, and that's Sarah Doyle, normally a true middle, but they've used her on the outside a lot this year, looking for added punch offensively. 127 kills. You see the kills per set there at 1.9. 57 total blocks and 19 aces. She really has been an ace in the hole for this UMass Boston team. Meanwhile, Kylie Austin for Southern Maine, got to watch out for her as well. 106 kills, 49 total blocks, and the kills per set at 1.34. And she will be factored in a lot tonight on the outside as well. So as we bring it back up here, we are going to send this to highlights of the aforementioned last home match here for UMass Boston, a 3-0 sweep against Plymouth State a week ago. Opening service coming up.
I can pay for everything that's on you, so everything is on me. Got them girls going Cindy Lauper, got Grab and a little blondie. If you ain't drunk, then you're in the wrong club. Don't feel sexy, you're on the wrong beach. Tell the bar that we don't want no glass, just bottles and I'm buying everybody one each. Yeah, so bring the verb, please go. We about to hit the big 3-0. Party like it's carnival in Rio. Life's too short, they need to be out. Yo, we live, we die, we give, we try, we kiss, we fight. Also, we can have a good time, yeah.
Busy looking for the next top model who's wearing something new and something old and something borrowed. I know this crazy life can be a bitter pill to swallow, so forget about tomorrow. Tonight, we're drinking from the
Yo, as long as they ain't getting it wrong, then everything is alright. Got them girls girls can't hide, including the Kardashians, began the rule ties. If you ain't lean, then you're in the wrong scene. If you ain't hiding, you're not on my vibe. Tell the bar that we don't need no sparklers or nothing, just keep the bottles coming all night. Yeah, so bring the verb, free go. We can better hit the big 3-0. Party like it's carnival with Rio. Life's too short, they need to be out. Yo, we live, we die, we give, we try, we kiss, we fight. Also, we can have a good time, yeah.
I'm busy looking for the next top model who's wearing something new and something old and something borrowed. I know this crazy life can be a bitter pill to swallow, so forget about tomorrow. Tonight, we're drinking from the bowl. We're drinking from the bowl. We're drinking from the bowl. We're drinking from the bowl.
Well, what have these two teams done on the year in all the important statistical categories? I'll tell you. Take a look. It's fairly evenly matched in a lot of these. Kills per set, Southern Maine with a slight edge, 10.44 to 9.15. The hitting percentages, you'd expect them to be a lot higher, especially for what these teams were pegged to do coming into the season. Assists per set, an edge for the Huskies. Digs per set, pretty even. These are two teams that keep a lot of rallies alive. Blocks per set, the edge there in the middle for UMass Boston. And again, Sarah Doyle, a huge part of that. And the aces, pretty much even on both sides. We segue from that into the team leaders here. And as you can see, there is Sarah Doyle again for the Beacons, 127 kills. She's exceeded on the other end by Casey Forrester. She is the main source of offense for Southern Maine. Look at that, 213 kills, 44 aces as well. And you see some of the other numbers, a couple of them that stand out. In the assists column, Carson Commons, she's had a big year, 475 assists. Sophie Lindsay with 483 for the Huskies. Those are your leaders coming into tonight's match. And now we're going to seg into Sydney Birch's Beacon Spotlight here. Sydney talks about her career goal of going into sports management and being the first ever female GM of a Big Four sports team.
I'm majoring in business management, and I have a concentration in marketing, and I'm minoring in communications. The direction I wanted to take is I want to end up in sports management, and since we didn't have that actual degree here, I figured my best chance at going into that field would be to go into the business side of things and then also incorporate communications. Sports have always been a big part of my life, whether I've been playing them or watching them. I've always looked deeper into not just the play of what's happening, but all the other pieces that fall behind it. And I think it would be really cool to be involved in all of the background for a major league team. So my dad had always told me to find something that you love and then you'll never work a day in your life. And I always thought that was like super cheesy, but figuring out that I loved volleyball from such a young age and realizing that that probably wasn't going to be the direction my life would end up in. I also found another love just for sports in general, and finding a way to keep sports in my life once I was done with my volleyball career was definitely just a big intention of mine. I spent a lot of last summer looking for an internship, but since volleyball season started so early, it is hard to for me to get those internships, but I made a lot of connections that hopefully I'll be able to go back and talk to those same people again once I'm done with volleyball. So the next step for me would definitely be to look for internships or entry-level jobs with either ESPN or a local team such as like the Patriots or the Bruins or something like that, and definitely just like get my feet wet into the business side of sports. Eventually, I would love to be the first female GM of a major league sports team.
And we welcome you back as you take a look at the starters tonight for Southern Maine and head coach Diane Newell in year number 6. Molly Mawhinney, Sophie Lindsay, Casey Forster, Rachel Qose, Jamie Janarone, and Kylie Austin. And then Lauren Delicio is your libero, wearing number 5. And now we will let the UMass Boston starters introduce themselves.
I'm Aleks Qose, a freshman outside hitter from Quincy, Massachusetts.
Hi, I'm Carson Commons, a junior setter from Columbus, Ohio.
Hi, I'm Mallory Reed, a freshman right side from Alpharetta, Georgia.
Hi, I'm Marcel Tiscareño. I'm a sophomore middle hitter from El Paso, Texas.
Hi, I'm Michaela Garrity, a freshman outside DS from Elgin, Illinois.
Hi, I'm Sarah Doyle, a senior middle hitter from Glendale, California.
Hi, I'm Tyler Parker, a junior libero from Mahwah, New Jersey.
Freshman Mallory Reed and Michaela Garrity in there again tonight, again because of all the injuries that Coach Kate Carlson and this UMass Boston squad has had to deal with. National anthem time, first service coming up in a moment.
What do we mean when we say UMass is here for a reason? We mean that the 5-campus UMass system is the only public research university that the people of Massachusetts established to create better futures for themselves, but also for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as a whole. It's a university that educates 73,000 students every day and graduates 17,000 graduates every year. We are the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We're one of the state's 3 major academic research engines: research that saves and improves people's lives, and research that drives the innovation economy of Massachusetts. We provide services and economic opportunity to every region of the Commonwealth. The noted historian David McCullough once said that 2 great concepts, university and Massachusetts, come together in only one place, and we are very aware of how fortunate we are to bear the name, the University of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
Just about set. UMass Boston and Southern Maine coming in this key late season match. Just 5 regular season matches to go for the Beacons. After this, 3 of them are in conference. Here are our keys for tonight. Number 1, you want to establish the middle. Sarah Doyle is going to factor into that. You want to limit Casey Forster. We talked about her as the number 1 offensive threat for the Huskies, and then you need to be strong from that service line. Try to limit the errors. And UMass Boston will have Aleks Qose, the freshman, back to start this one off. Our officials for tonight's match: Kirsten Bosnek, Patrick Burns, and the line judges Lily Clark and David Davidson. Imagine if that was your name. Anyway. Here we go. Qose to start it as the Beacons look to get off to a quicker start than they have recently. And the opening serve is tapped up, and it'll be dug back out by Tyler Parker, keeping it alive. And this one is somehow kept in by Lauren Delicio, the libero, and a strong rally here to start it. And there is an opening kill for the Beacons. Tiscareño was in on that, and it's 1-0 UMass out of the chutes. And now Qose gets it started again. This one tapped back up by Rachel Qose, and now it's thrown back over, and it'll be tapped back up by the libero Parker. Back across now, and this one will be set up, but it can't get over, as that was Sophie Lindsay, unable to get it over the net, and the first 2 have gone the way of the home team here. So a 2-0 lead And now Qose trying to extend it. Beacons are trying to set up matchups here along the net as they get it over. And now with the first hit across, this one's wide off the right fist of Forrester, so she's unable to get on the board, and it's now 3-0. Well, they got off to a strong start in that last home match against Plymouth State. And they're trying to do the same thing here. Qose cannot get this one over. So there's the first error of the match, and it's now 3-1. Huskies getting their first point on a miscue. So Lindsay will handle the serve here. The first time through, and this one is too far. So back-to-back mistakes, and it's 4-1 Beacons. So now, second rotation. Tyla Parker will go back, and she will serve here, a transfer from D1 Siena College prior to the season, and having to play an important role here again because of all the injuries and the attrition. This one's batted back, and saving the point on this possession for Southern Maine, Molly Mawhinney. Sophomore hitter from South Portland, Maine. That's the first offensive point for the Huskies here, as Rachel Keeley is going to come out. In this next substitution, Lindsay serving it across. And now this one is set up for a kill attempt, but somehow dug out. Sarah Doyle thought she had a point, and now, in fact, she does on the second time. Sydney Birch involved on the front line as well. 5-2 here in this opening set. And it is Birch to serve now. This one dug out and kept alive by Mawhinney, and back across it goes along the front line. Here's a setup and a punch down for the kill by Doyle. That one was well executed. And now a 4-point lead as Sarah Doyle continues to show her versatility. First team Little East last year had the third best hitting percentage in the league at over 300, which is excellent. And now here's a tap down right at the front of the net for point number 7. So Doyle again doing it on offense, doing it on defense. And the lead is 5 here for the Beacons as Birch goes back to serve again. This one just barely snuck over, and now a battle along the net line, and it's tapped back up by Parker along the far side. This one swatted back by number 14, Jamie Janarone, but UMass keeping it alive. Back on the Southern Maine end now, and this one's dug out by Qose, but nobody was around, and that'll be point number 3 for the Huskies. As you're going to have another substitution here for Diane Newell. Lindsay is going to come back into the game, and it's Delicio who subs out. 7-3 here early as Parker digs out another one, and here's a kill attempt, and it will be a point for UMass. It was Doyle trying to punch one across again, and an error on the other end will hand UMass Boston another point. So it's 8-3 as Michaela Garrity will be the server here. She gets it across, and now Southern Maine trying to set up an attack. What a job by Garrity to save that one on the far side line. And UMass Boston continues to keep it alive here. Garrity slaps it across, and this one's tapped back up by Delicio, right back into the game. And now a point for the Huskies as sneaking it across, Sophie Lindsay. They give her credit for it. The Little East Offensive Player of the Week of October the 7th. Had a couple of double-doubles against UMass Dartmouth and Smith. And now Doyle trying to respond, and this one's tapped back up by Janarone, who went running away from it afterwards. Doyle slaps this one back down, and it'll be a violation on Southern Maine. They touch the net. So another point for UMass to take a 9-4 lead. And you'll have another substitution here. Janarone is out, and it's Kylie Austin, who we highlighted prior to the match, who's back in. This has been a strong start for UMass Boston against a good offensive team here in Southern Maine. 9-4 in the opening set as a scramble in the middle here. And this one's tapped over by Qose, trying to find a soft spot in that zone, but could not. And now unable to get it over the net again is Lindsay, and UMass Boston is the first into double figures here at 10-4. So Southern Maine having issues at the net here early, and the Beacons trying to exploit that advantage that they have here in the early going. As this one served across, and a nice save here by Garrity on the dig. Set up now for Doyle again, and it goes off the right fist of Forrester, who kept it alive. Back across now as Delicio smacked it over. This one's set up, and there's a kill for number 21, Miss Marcel Tiscareño. Missed a few matches this season as well, but she sneaks this one across right in front of the Southern Maine bench, and that's going to draw the first timeout of the match. It's a 90-second timeout here. So 11-4 is the UMass Boston lead. They have come exploding out of the gates. We'll keep it here during the pause. Well, we talked at the top about how important this one was. Both sides coming in with 2 conference losses. To give you a little perspective on that, this is the first time that UMass Boston has had 2 or more conference losses in 12 years. You got to go back to 2007. And of course, this program, such a giant in this league, a lot of that due to the work of the previous administration. Of course, the legendary head coach who started this thing, Terry Condon, really built a program from the ground up starting in 2008, won 8 out of 10 tournament titles, 10 straight regular season titles. But now Kate Carlson, a 2010 graduate of this program, has the reins, and she's trying to get her team back into postseason play. And it is a true dogfight going on at the bottom of this league right now to get in, as we already talked about. A battle here along the net line, and this one is knocked back over by Sydney Birch. UMass Boston continuing to keep it alive. Garrity slaps one up. Qose trying to find a soft spot, and now it's Forrester who mishandled it. Tried to drop an assist off to Austin, but Kylie Austin wasn't there. So 12-4, and Doyle will be the server. She gets it across. And Southern Maine just looking for anything here on the attack. Looked like Delicio cut Lindsay off. And now Qose slaps one over there, and here's Forrester with it. This one's slapped up, and it's too far. Sophie Lindsay beyond the back line, and 13-4 your score now. So a lot of self-inflicted mistakes for Southern Maine here coming in. It's uncharacteristic of a team that is 12-10 overall, 3-2 in the league. And as I say that, there's a mistake by the Beacons as the serve goes too far. So 13-5. Substitutions made for both sides. Doyle is out. And Carson Kamensk is back in the game as she goes to set this one up. Qose, and she's rejected right in her face by Kylie Austin. And Lindsay in on that one as well, so they tried to exploit the 5'7" Qose there. Austin standing 5'10", and Lindsay at 5'9", and they used it to their advantage right there. 14-5, as this one is knocked up. Qose will try again, and this time succeeds to make it 15-5. So the lead is at 10 as Kamensk serves this one across and batted back down for another kill on the block. It's Mallory Reed, the freshman from Alpharetta, Georgia, getting involved. You're looking at somebody who finished as the team MVP at Milton High School last year, second in the state in blocks. Came up with a big one there to extend it to 16-5, and now finding an open spot on the floor, Forrester. And that makes it 16-6. And handling the serve, Delicio this time. Garrity knocks it up. And here's Qose again, and again she's in an attacking position and comes through. into the back right-hand corner of that Southern Maine defense. Nobody home, and it's 17-6. Remember, of course, it's the first to 25 here in these first 4 sets. If we play 4 sets, if we get to a fifth, we would go to 15 as this one's knocked up by Parker and set up, and knocking it in on the near side this time is Reed. So they've gotten her involved here on a couple of these recent possessions, and they're really spreading the offensive output around right now. 18-6. And back here on their home floor, the Beacons looking a lot more comfortable than they have lately. As Qose served it across, Parker will knock this one up in the air. Garrity was going to go for it and then gave way for Kaminsk. Here, this one is slapped off the left fist of Parker and out of play. For the kill for Southern Maine, it was Lindsay. 18-7. As Jamie Janarone comes back in now for the Huskies. It's Cassidy Gibb taking a seat, or rather a stand. In any case, Kaminsk knocks it up, and what an effort that was by Tiscareño, but it was swatted right back into her face by Janarone, fresh into the game. So it's 18-8. And the serve coming from right to left here by Lindsay, and it's out of play. So another service error, and it's 19-8 as that UMass Boston bench is alive right now. They've been energetic from the jump as Parker gets this one across, going from left to right, and slapping it down aggressively is Molly Mawhinney. Came up with her first double-double as a Husky back on September the 14th against Simmons. Spent fall of 2018 at St. Anselm College, and then previously this spring she was at Southern Maine Community College and now on the floor for USM. Here, Garrity gets it across, and that one worked because it went right through the wickets of Mawhinney there at the net, through the fingertips. Couldn't get a handle on it. It's 20-9. And Sydney Birch from the back line gets it across, and that's too far. Nice job that time by Megan Gettings. First time we've said that name tonight, the senior out of Bristol, Connecticut. She knew right away that that one was too tall. Let it go. And it's back to a 10-point set here, 20-10. UMass Boston 5 points away from an opening set win, and somehow this one is kept alive. Kylie Austin down to the ground, practically picked it up off of it, and this one will go off of Forrester this time as the long rally kept alive there by the Huskies, but they couldn't get it back across, and it's 21-10. Serve will come from Garrity, who gets it over. It's knocked up into the air by Forrester. Back across. What a save by Garrity, but that was all they got because Doyle couldn't knock it back to her. So the mistake makes it 21-11. And here's Janarone, the junior from Windham, Maine, with the left-handed serve. Gets it across. Now here at the net, Qose knocks it off of Forrester, somehow kept alive, but then Delisio couldn't keep it in. It was a good effort by Janarone to get over there. But it goes out of play, 22-11. And we told you the last time UMass Boston was here on their home floor, it was a sweep. 3-0 over Plymouth State. Long way to go tonight, but they'd like to give themselves a chance to do the same thing. Here's a service error as Doyle couldn't get it across. Makes it 22-12. Gettings is going to come out for Southern Maine, and Rachel Keeley is back in. Serve comes over from Keeley, and this one knocked back over, and it will be a good kill for the Beacons. Kaminsk involved. And officially, they give it to Qose. Mallory Reed now back in, and Birch will check out. 23-12 here as Kamensk gets it across. This one set up and knocked back into the face of Kylie Austin. It was Tiscareño making her presence known right at the net, and now it is set point here for the Beacons, trying to get a 1-0 lead in this match. As Kamensk gets it over, it is saved by Kile. Back across it goes. This is a setup. No, it's going to be a point for Southern Maine, as they're going to say that Kamensk touched the net with the right hand. So that makes it 24-13. And here's a serve coming up for Delicio, trying to keep the set going here. And speaking of sets, here's one, and trying to get the clinching point there, Tiscareño, but knocked back in her face, and now Qose gets one to deflect off of Lindsay out of play. And there it is. The opening set goes the way of the home team, 25-13, an impressive offensive showing here for UMass Boston. They are up 1-0. 2 more like that, and they'll have themselves a huge conference win here tonight. We're going to take a commercial timeout and be back with our look around Beaconville as well as our first set highlights.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there is a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, do we have scores for that stuff?
No, it's 0-0.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
So men's soccer 2-0, women's soccer, and it's not halftime, the game just started.
We bring it back, and we'll give you our look around Beaconville here. Update you on both women's and men's soccer, both just underway. Men's soccer with a 2-0 lead. Women are scoreless. They both are taking on this Southern Maine squad as well. You can see women's tennis hosting Plymouth State tomorrow. That's the conference semifinals there. And then Saturday, cross country at Suffolk at 11 a.m. Impressive first set for the home team. 25-13 victory. And they're up 1-0 here in the best of 5. Second set gets underway with a Southern Maine serve, and they will get the opening points. As this time it was Kamensk who couldn't keep it in, so 1-0 Southern Maine. And that's their first lead of the night here in set number 2. Kamensk leaving one, and this one is too far off the right hand of Mallory Reed, so it's 2-zip. She was a little too forceful with that one, and Sophie Lindsay will come up and serve it here. And it's an error right into the middle of that net. to make it 2-1. And Sydney Birch checks back in for Reed here, so an early switch for Kate Carlson, and they're going to have Birch serving here, trying to tie set number 2, and that was too easy, way too easy for Sarah Doyle at the net. Practically a dunk to get it back across. Can't leave the middle of that zone wide open like that. Tied at 2 here. And Birch gets it across, sneaks it over the top line. Here's a setup and a very nice looking attack that time. As coming in was Forrester, and you don't want to let her get going. Talked about how explosive she can be. 16 kills against Eastern Nazarene back on September the 4th. Just gives you an idea of how strong an attacker she is, and that was forceful that time to make it 3-2. This one back across. Parker trying to set one up. Garrity knocks it across, but way too far. And the lead is 2 now for the Huskies. So Southern Maine looking a little bit better after a first set in which they really never got into a rhythm. As Forrester will serve here, and a mistake by Qose, who looked apoplectic watching that one sail into the first row off of her left hand. And it's 5-2. So mistakes here early in set number 2 for the home team. Qose dives down to dig this one out, and she can't find Birch on the other end, so it goes out of play. And now the lead is 6-2 for the visitors here, and they're riding this momentum wave as Forrester continues to serve. Gets it across with the right hand, and it's Tyler Parker who couldn't dig it up. So it's 7-2, and here comes a UMass Boston timeout. So Kate Carlson has seen enough to start this second set, not continuing the momentum from set number 1. 7-2 is the Southern Maine lead in set number 2. Back in just a moment. Back-to-back aces from Casey Forrester, forcing the UMass Boston timeout. They trail 7-2, and out of the timeout, a well-executed play as knocking one across for the point, Qose. And it's 7-3. So Kate Carlson stopping the action perhaps at an opportune time there. Didn't want to let the set get away, and now the first 2 points after the pause, I should say, go the way of the Beacons as Delisio knocked it out of play. So now 7-4. Here's Garrity serving. Gets it across, and now tries the cross-court pass back to the middle. And Garrity keeps this one alive on the back end. Qose with a strong punch, and it goes off Delisio out of play. 7-5. So now the momentum swinging back the way of the home team. On the attack here ever since that timeout. Here's a quick one set across by Lindsay. She was trying to deke out Birch, but Beacon's not fooled by it. Here's a setup for Qose, and it goes off of the right fist of Forrester, and then it's knocked out of play, and it will be another point for UMass Boston, 7-6. So back they come after the stoppage. Garrity serves again. Gets it across. And here's a setup and a slow tap over, but they're going to get a violation here at the net on Megan Gettings, who stepped too far. And now we are even at 7. So from 7-2, back to even here. And now the Beacons trying to surge ahead for the first time in this second set. This one's set up in the middle for Forrester, and it's too far. And that's exactly what the Beacons will do. An 8-7 lead. And the key freshman, Garrity, trying to keep this thing going. Gets it across, and this one is slapped behind by Molly Mawini. That one went the wrong way on her. And it's 9-7 UMass. So 7 unanswered here for the home team to take a 2-point lead in this second set. Garrity gets it back over. Delisio goes down to dig it out. Here's one that's slapped in the near side corner by the left-handed Janarone. Started all 29 matches a year ago for the Huskies. And that's a key point to try and stem the tide here. Make it 9-8. As the serve comes across, set up at the net for Doyle, and that's another easy one. At 6'2", there are a lot of plays you can give Sarah Doyle where it's like taking candy from a baby. That was one of them. And it's 10-8. And now she will serve it. With the right hand, gets it across. And here's a setup for who exactly? It's for Janarone, who kept that one from going out of bounds. Qose has this one deflected back over. And now at the net, keeping it alive, Doyle coming over to get it is Birch, trying to set one up, and it goes too far off the fist of Qose, out of play. And it makes it 10-9. So back and forth we go now after the lopsided start to this second set, in which Southern Maine jumped out to that 7-2 lead. And here's a diving dig by Tyler Parker. And a setup here, and keeping it alive, Garrity. And at the net, thought we might have had a violation there. We did not. Play stays alive. Qose knocks this one too far, and it did not graze the fingertips of Forrester. So we're now tied at 10. And you're going to have the freshman Cassidy Gibb coming in here for Southern Maine. It's Janarone to the sideline. And now they switch the scoreboard. They say 11-9 in favor of UMass Boston. They had it at 10-10, and now they flipped it. Anyway, Reed knocks this one off of the fist of Forrester. That one had some punch on it. Coming with the fastball, and now it's 12-9. And Carson Commons to serve it, and how about that? Sometimes it's your night. That one just snuck across. Needed every bit of the top of that net to work with her, and it did. So 13-9 on the ace for Kaminsk. This time, though, it's not as kind. Can't expect that every time. That's a service error. And it's now 13-10. As you're going to have Rachel Keeley coming back in here. And it's Gettings to the sideline, and Keeley will handle the serve. Gets it across, Qose. Here's a setup now, Reed, but it's knocked right back down by Austin. So Kylie Austin makes her presence felt as we work toward the midway portion of set number 2. 13-11 now your score. Keeley gets it across. Parker goes down to dig it. Setting up for Qose, and that one stays in. Deems the official on the far side, Lily Clark. And it's 14-11. Serve coming from Qose. Gets it over. And here comes a setup from Cassidy Gibb, and a good one it was. As knocking it down, Forrester to make it 14-12 now. And Lauren Delicio to handle the serve. Gets it over. And now this one will be set up for Garrity, kept alive by the fist of Keeley. UMass Boston on the attack again, but not for long. However, the point will go their way. Molly Mawhinney couldn't keep it in bounds. Had an opportunity there, but just overshot it. And it's 15-12 as Parker, the libero, will handle the serve here. Gets it across. Qose keeps it alive. Comets get the net, setting one up for Reed, and it's deflected back over. Reed knocks it back, spinning around. Here's a setup this time, and it will go the way of UMass Boston because they say that Sophie Lindsay touched it twice on that possession. And you're going to have a timeout by Southern Maine with the score at 16-12. And UMass Boston, after that slow start here to the second set, climbing back into it. Now they have a 4-point lead, trying to take a commanding 2-0 lead here in this match. Well, if UMass Boston can win it here tonight, they would move above 500 in conference play. You go back to that win against Plymouth State a week ago. Qose, Garrity, Tiscareño all finished with a team-high 8 kills. Tiscareño had a hitting percentage of .615. Was really a coming-out party for Garrity. Finished the win hitting .304. And Qose at the service line had 6 aces along with 7 digs. So it really was an all-around team effort. And that was the last time that the Beacons were here on this floor. And in that first set tonight, they definitely carried over some of that momentum, which they didn't have in the previous 2 losses on the road against Springfield and Roger Williams. This one is knocked down at the net and unable to keep it alive. Doyle, you had Keeley there at the net, or actually, excuse me, it was Molly Mawhinney who knocked it back initially. And then Doyle couldn't dive down to get it, so 16-13 here. Long way to go in this set. Lindsay, the server now, gets it over to Qose. Here's a setup for Reed. Kept alive at the net here. Delicio touched it more than once. So it's another point for UMass Boston and another self-inflicted error by Southern Maine. Been a lot of those tonight, which you wouldn't expect for a team of their caliber. 17-13, and here's another one as the Beacons will take point number 18. Multiple touches in the attack side. Southern Maine coming in 5th in the Little East. They get a point here to move it to 18-14. You're going to have Keeley coming out and Megan Gettings taking her place on the front line. Forrester to serve it. Parker keeps it up. Qose now. Back over. Garrity, and it's out. Just barely right in front of Diane Newell there on the Southern Maine bench. But that makes it 18-15. Forrester gets it across. Qose diving down to dig it. Doyle with a hook shot. And it's kept alive. Delicio trying to set one up, and Qose will knock it out of play. And give credit to Mawhinney there for the kill. And it's 18-16. Back to the freshman Cassidy Gibb over there as Doyle will knock this one over. Delicio sets one up. And diving down, Qose running into Parker, but they kept it alive. Delicio does the same on the other end. Here's a meeting at the net. Doyle knocks it down, and it's kept up there by Lindsay. Hit back across and deflected up. Commons now trying the soft toss. That didn't work. And coming over again, Doyle, and this one stays in. Right on the back line, and it's 19-16. And the Beacons inching closer, perhaps, to a second set victory here. This one knocked up by Delicio and then punched back over by Gettings, and it's out of play. Point to the home team, 20-16. It's at that point in the set where you can start to taste it if you're over on the bench, but got to stay within yourself right now and finish it off. This will help as Delicio couldn't knock it up. 21-16. Now the impressive freshman Garrity once again serves it across. Here's a setup, and Doyle meeting Mawhinney at the net. Knocked back up by Forrester. Here's one punch down, and it's off the net on the wrong side of play for Gettings. 22-16. And the Beacons now 3 points away from a 2-0 lead here in this match. Can they lock in right here? Garrity gets it across, and it's out. Mawhinney saw it right away. Put her hands behind her back so that there was no temptation to reach out and touch it. 22-17, and Mawhinney now to serve, and a mistake. Couldn't get it across, so the point goes right back to the Beacons. 23-17. Seems like it's been that kind of night here for Southern Maine. Anytime you think maybe they're going to stem the tide and get something going, the tide reverses and goes back the other way. Doyle to serve it, and this one hit back across, but it's too wide. Kylie Austin couldn't keep it in play, and now set point again for the Beacons. Doyle gets it across, and it's an ace to cap off the second set. They trailed it 7-2 early. They rallied back after a timeout and dominated the remainder of the set. 25-17 the final. They have a 2-0 lead, one set victory away from a huge win here tonight. We're going to take a timeout. Second set highlights are coming up right now.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Thanks. We're back as we take you around the Little East here. You see Plymouth State with a 2-1 lead on Keene State. They're in the third set right now. Western Connecticut up on Eastern Connecticut in the second. UMass Dartmouth with a lead on Rhode Island College, and that's the team that these two are most concerned with in the standings, as the Beacons will get the opening point in set number 3. Qose was the server there. UMass Boston coming in the 6th position. The top 6 teams make the Little East tournament, but UMass Dartmouth right on their tails. They're 1-3 in conference play, but they beat the Beacons head-to-head, which means they're going to have the tiebreaker, as this one is knocked off of Delisio and out of play by Tiscareño at the net. So 2-0 in favor of the Beacons in set number 3 as they're trying to put this thing to bed right now. Qose gets it across, and point going to the home team because there were 2 touches. Again, that happens for Southern Maine. Delisio, they're having a hard time with that tonight. 3-zip as Qose gets this one across. It's kept alive and batted down by Mallory Reed at the net. She got strong at the right time there, and it's 4-zip. And you wonder if this gets any worse here, if Southern Maine's going to have to call a timeout early here in set number 3. Their back's up against the wall right here, as knocking this across, Qose has it. And at the net, diving down to get it and save the possession, Keeley. And that proved wise because the point goes finally to the Huskies, and they get on the board here in set number 3. So it's 4-1 with Lindsay to serve it. Going from right to left again. And the return is too short from Qose, and it's 14-2. So you got Qose, Parker, Garrity, Reed, Kamensk, and Tiscareño out there right now for the Beacons. Lindsay serves it across. Kamensk sets one up, and it's kept in play. Back across, Parker with it again, running over to it, Kamensk, and now slicing it back over Garrity. Set up at the net, and it's knocked down by Garrity, but kept alive by Janarone, and this one out of play from Forrester. So the Beacons get a point back. It's 5-2. Doyle back in the game. Tiscareño out. Parker serves it across. Reed with a tap down. Battle for it at the net, and it's a point for the Huskies on a kill by Keeley, which makes it 5-3. Forrester now will serve it. Keeley's going to come out, and this is the freshman Joy Herod who's coming into the game. As Doyle with a strong punch and gets this one in on the back line to make it 6-3. Man, that thing had some heat on it. And the serve back to the home squad here. Sydney Birch will handle it. Birch gets it across. It's knocked up by Herod and deflected at the net, but Qose couldn't get over to it in time. Herod gets credit for the kill there. Delisio heads to the bench. 6-4. Served across by Mawhinney. Here's a setup for Doyle, who got it deflected right back at her, but kept it alive. Qose, with the aid of the net, gets it over and gets the kill. So now 7-4. As Garrity will take the serve. Gets it over calmly with a setup and a punch over by Herod. What a play by Parker to keep it alive. Qose too far. Forrester stayed away from it, makes it 7-5. And now it's Jamie Janarone's turn at the serve here. At the net, Kamensk. Oh, she deked everybody there. Looked like it was going to be a setup for Doyle, and instead at the last second, she decided to take it herself. Wide open spot in the middle of that zone. That's a smart play. And now 8-5. So Doyle will keep the serve going here. Kept alive by Forrester. Set up at the net, and a beautiful defensive effort by Birch, falling down to her back to dig that one out. Another setup, but unable to come through with the finish. Austin lost it at the last second, and it's 9-5. The lead back up to 4. Doyle gets it over. Set up here. It's deflected up by Qose to keep it alive. Kamensk with a set. And now punching it down Tiscareño, but it's kept alive. Kamensk faked it to Tiscareño. Qose gets a deflection off of the freshman Herod on the far side, and it's 10-5. And again, you're kind of teetering right now if you're Southern Maine, thinking about possibly using another timeout before this gets any worse. It does, as Tiscareño knocks it down, and sure enough, there's your timeout. Beacons on the verge of running away with this one. 11-5 your score in set number 3, and we'll take a timeout here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
A timeout was the turning point in the second set. The Beacons were down 7-2. Kate Carlson called a timeout. They rallied back to take the lead, never looked back. Southern Maine now has to hope for the same result. Down 11-5, and so far so good, as the slow tap over goes the way of Kylie Austin. And out of the timeout, Southern Maine gets a point back. It's 11-6. The Huskies lose this game, they're going to fall to 3-3 in conference play. And they would be all of a sudden behind the Beacons, as you're going to have a violation here. Another one committed by the Huskies, and the point goes over to UMass Boston to make it 12-6. So again, they do a good thing. They come out of the timeout and get the first point there, but then they give it right back. And again, it's the home team on the attack as Kamensk serves it too far here. Make it 12-7. Kamensk came into the night with 38 aces and missed another one right there by a little bit, but this time it deflects too far out of play to give the point back to the Beacons at 13-7 now. Qose will serve it. Gets it over with the right hand. Delicio digs it out, and this one batted back up by Kamensk. At the net, Garrity gets it over, and that one nearly hit the ground, and now Delicio comes over and slaps it under the net. 14-7. That Beacons bench has been into it all night tonight. And you saw it from the jump. The energy tonight, no doubt about it, favoring the home team, as this one ate up Rachel Keeley. And there's another ace for Qose. 15-7. Beacons 10 points away from sending everybody home. Qose, she got the A to the top of the net there. And Garrity was there to nearly tap it back down for a kill. Instead, it's kept alive. Tiscareño knocks this one back down. Here it is on the other end. It deflects off of Kamensk and out of play. The kill goes to Molly Mawhinney for Southern Maine, and it's 15-8. So Jamie Janarone's going to come back in now. Cassidy Gibb to the sideline. 15-8. The serve by Lindsay. Kamensk with a setup. Garrity knocks it over, but it's kept alive by Keeley. At the net here, Kamensk. Qose almost got it over herself. Tiscareño does and finds pay dirt. Wow. What an effort by Qose with her back to the net to flip that one to Tiscareño at the net, who put it home. 16-8. Parker serves it. Miscommunication for Southern Maine. Delicio somehow was there to dig it out. This one deflects off the top of the net and down for Doyle. 17-8. And another serve coming for Parker. Gets it over with the right hand. Knocked up into the air, set up here, and Qose is going to knock this one way over everything to make it 17-9. Ball was hit over by Mawhinney. And you're going to have Joy Harrod checking back in now. Keeley, for the moment, to the bench. Here's Forrester to serve it. Gets it across. Qose with a diving dig out. And Reed knocks this one. It was too hot to handle for Delicio. And it's 18-9. And now Reed will check out. Sydney Birch coming back in. A senior who appeared in every match last season. Started 8 times. And this time she's unable to dive down and dig this one out. Delicio gets credit for the kill. She comes out. Back to an 8-point set here, 18-10. Mawhinney to serve it across, and Parker couldn't handle this one. So it's 18-11. Another error for the Beacons. They've had a couple here in these last few possessions. Mawhinney gets it over, and here's another mistake as Parker and Qose both went to the same spot. Neither one of them kept it alive. 18-12. Back to Mawhinney. Set up, will not go to Doyle. It'll go to Qose. Diving down to save it, Mawhinney, and then it deflects out of play off of Harrod. 19-12. And Delicio's coming back in. Mawhinney very frustrated, heading to the bench. Garrity gets it over. Set up at the net. Doyle knocks it back off the hand of Austin. And here's one by Harrod. Nearly found a soft spot in the zone, and doing likewise was Kamensk. And now Garrity can't dive down and dig it out. Delicio getting it across. And Casey Forrester in on that one as well. 19-13. Southern Maine desperately trying to rally. Janarone gets it over. Kamensk with a setup to Doyle. Forrester keeps it up. Doyle knocks it back. A rejection at the net. And it's 20-13. Man, she has asserted herself multiple times tonight. Used that 6'2" frame. She's the tallest player in the game, and it has showed. Here she gets it over with the A to the top of the net. Sets it up. Forrester, and it's knocked over by Tiscareño, but kept alive. Here at the net, it will go too far. Off the right fist of Lindsay. And UMass Boston is 4 points away. 21-13. It's back in Doyle's court. The setup comes, and it's kept alive. On the far side, Doyle knocks it back, but Delisio digs it out. And Doyle goes down to get this one somehow, but then a slam down courtesy of Austin. That was nearly a miraculous dig by Doyle to result in a point, but Austin, Johnny on the spot to make it 21-14, and Doyle will come out needing a breather. So the deficit back to 7. Qose gets it over. And what a strong smackdown that was by Tiscareño. Man, we have seen some aggression at the net tonight. 22-14 on the kill by Tiscareño. 3 more points for the Beacons. We'll get it done here. Delisio gets it over. And Comments got the net, gives it up again to Tiscareño, and it was too hot for Gibb to handle. 23-14, and that bench can sense it right now. Kamensk will serve it. Off the top of the net and over. Set up here, and Tiscareño thought she had the kill, but instead kept alive. Parker keeps it in. Tiscareño wants it. Instead, Reed will go for it. Delisio goes down to kill it. Back across it goes. Kamensk. And Tiscareño again. This one goes off the fist of Qose. And we have arrived at match point. 24-14. UMass Boston 1 point away. Kamensk with the serve. Across it goes. Delisio knocks it up. And knocked back down by Tiscareño to end the night. And that's fitting, a dominating performance on the front line by the UMass Boston Beacons. They win the third set by the same 25-14 score. Actually, set number 2 was 25-17, and then your opening set was 25-13, but the point still remains the Beacons dominant here tonight. And they made this quality Southern Maine opponent look mortal here this evening. What an effort by the Beacons. And they avoid what would have been a crushing third conference loss, and they hand a third conference loss to Southern Maine. UMass Boston now 6-16 overall, 3-2 in conference play. The Huskies are 12-11. 3-3 in the league. They will flip-flop positions in the standings. Let's take a timeout and come on back for our postgame.
My name is Albie Daly. I'm from Able Park, New York. I'm a forward on the UMass Boston men's hockey team, and my current major is exercise and health sciences. Being a member of the men's hockey team is a tremendous honor, just because being able to play collegiate sport while pursuing my dreams of becoming a physical therapist and studying what I'd like to in school means a lot. My favorite memory as a member of the men's hockey team would probably be a big goal that I scored last year, the NCAA quarterfinals, ECAC's quarterfinals against University of New England.
What a turn in momentum!
Just because it was a big boost for both myself and our team moving forward.
Perfect shot right there over the shoulder of the goaltender Drost.
Frozen Fenway was just our outdoor game at Fenway Park, and it was a tremendous experience, I think, both for me and the guys on the team and, you know, the program as a whole. But we got to see the Red Sox locker room, which was an awesome experience, and just being at Fenway Park when you go to school in Boston is second to none, really, and that's what you look for, you know, when you're trying to experience collegiate athletics, and it's a really cool thing to be a part of. Being a student athlete at UMass Boston is a tremendous honor, just because gives you the chance to really focus on your studies in a great academic environment while
Carlson, after what was a dominating performance here tonight by her UMass Boston Beacons, this was a huge win, a sweep over Southern Maine here at the Clark. And Coach, you guys got it started much like you did against Plymouth State here a week ago. You got out of the gate strong in that first set, kind of stealing the momentum right away from the opponent. How important was it to do that tonight?
Again, I mean, we've been really trying to go hard from the beginning and not wait until the last minute to show up. So we've been really working on that and showing that at this time of the year, this is the most important time to finally get that under control and go hard. So we're really, really proud of them.
Key moment in this match in the second set, you guys fell behind there early, 7-2. A little sloppy out of the gates. You call a timeout. The momentum swung right then and there. What did you see from your team after the timeout?
So I think we weren't prepared for that tough serve. We hadn't seen it yet. They were very relaxed in that first game. So once we kind of took back the control and realized, okay, we were making the mistakes, we just needed to kind of switch gears and take care of business, then it was an easy fix for them.
Things are so jumbled up right now with you guys, UMass Dartmouth at the bottom of this league right now, everybody trying to get into the tournament. You have 2 conference losses. You can't afford a third one. What do you expect here down the stretch these last 5 games? What do you need to see out of your team to make sure you guys can get in?
We need to see consistency, and what we started with at the beginning of the year with more hitting errors, more serving errors, and we've kind of cleaned up our act a lot in that aspect and have been playing a lot smarter. So I think from here on out, it's just one after the next. We have 3 tough conference games ahead of us, and we're trying to keep that consistency and play smart and ready to face the next challenge.
Going to be a strong fight to the finish, that's for sure. Congrats on the win tonight, Coach.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's continue on with our postgame.
I'm Aleks Qose. I'm from Messina, New York. I'm a junior on the women's ice hockey team, and I'm an exercise health science major. But when I got here, I met Coach Harris, and I saw the facility, and met a couple of the girls on the team, and I pretty much got a feel of the program, and I knew right away that this is where I wanted to go to school. We have all league games for the rest of the year, so that's going to be a huge test for us. We need those points to hopefully come out with a good standing for playoffs. A couple of highlights from the last couple of years that I've been playing was probably last year when we won our first Codfish Bowl. We made history that year. I was really excited to be part of that. I don't have very many goals, but when I do score, it's definitely a big deal.
That's a goal.
For the past 3 years, we've had Emily. She is a member of the Team Impact program, and that's for children with illnesses that want to be part of a collegiate program. She's great. She comes and watches all of our games. She has her own jersey. She has her own stick. We've got her all this equipment. It's really awesome to have. She gives us a lot of motivation, and she comes in the locker room and talks to us before games, and it's really cool to have her here and be part of our team. When I graduate, I definitely want to go to graduate school, most likely for either athletic training or physical therapy. Our trainers here have definitely given me an insight about what it takes to be an athletic trainer. They're always on top of everything. They always know how to help us and what to do and what not to do. They're always there for us when we need them, and that's given me a lot of help with what I could be doing after I graduate, so that's nice to have them.
Psychology is about understanding the individual and understanding the mind and understanding how it affects others. The main reason why I want to combine psychology and business degrees is because I want to understand the business decisions that are made. I'm Nurçin Çelebi. I'm from Turkey originally. I'm a senior at the 5-year BA to MBA program at UMass Boston. Right now I'm doing an internship, so I will be starting to get experience in the field, and on top of that, getting an MBA and adding that business edge to my psychology degree. I think in management, the biggest mistake you can make is to not listen. So I want to be able to step into a company and say, here's what you're doing now, and here's how you can improve it in order to get the best out of your people, and in order to actually have people coming in here with passion. I moved here when I was 16 for high school. Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well, and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me. It was really a blessing for me to come to UMass Boston because it helped me really grow and show me that I can do things on my own. I wanted to be able to improve myself. I wanted to be able to try new things, and I think UMass gave me a really good head start on that.
The part of the show where we show you the final stats, lopsided. Really, all you need to say tonight, 42-19 in the kills department. Look at that hitting percentage, 388 to 025 for Southern Maine. UMass Boston was constantly on the attack here tonight. Advantages in all of those statistical categories. 10 aces tonight as well, and the Beacons took control from the outset, and you heard Coach Kate Carlson talk about how important it was for them to do that here tonight. The team leaderboard, well, good night for Aleks Qose, continuing to be relied upon with all the injuries here. 15 kills, hitting percentage of .619. That's almost unheard of, although look at the other side, and Molly Mawhinney topped it for Southern Maine at .667. Talked about trying to limit Casey Forrester for Southern Maine, and you hold her to 8 kills, 4 aces. That's really holding her down, and the Beacons really did that by staying on the attack all night long here tonight. You see Qose and Garrity each combining to have 6 of the 10 aces for UMass Boston. Big night for Carson Cominsk, 33 assists. That'll continue to give her extended playing time here down the stretch. Well, there's the team that brought you this match here tonight. Allie Crawford, Gigi Braga, our director, along with Sarah Harlinski. Allie's our producer, by the way. Kelly Danahy handling instant replay. Maya, Cassie, Sarah, Kaylee, the camera operators, and I am Mike Drew. Well, a 3-0 sweep tonight for the UMass Boston Beacons. A huge win over the Southern Maine Huskies. UMass Boston now 6-16 on the season, 3-2 in Little East play. Southern Maine 12-11, 500, 3-3 in Little East play. Next time out for the Beacons will be the 22nd, a week from right now, at Rhode Island College in another key Little East matchup. Good night, everybody.